Happy New Year. This is Gail Scott, and I'm a galactic channeler. And this transmission is a New Year transmission, all about the energies that are coming onto our planet around the concept of separation and unity. So, this is a transitionary year that we are going through on planet Earth. It's a time where we are shifting out of one vibration and into another. And for many, many, many years, we have been in what's called 3D, the third dimension. And our planet is actually shifting in its frequency. It is moving up into a different vibrationary level. And the transition is something called 4D. And when we eventually get to where we're going, it will be 5D. And 5D is the energy of love. It's the energy of peace, the energy of collaboration and co-creation. But there's a little bit of a transition for us as humans until we get to that place, not just for us as humans, but for our planet as a whole. So it's a shift in time as well as energy. So my channels that came through on New Year's Day were very clear that as much as we organize our lives by time, it is a construct that we use, a linear construct for us to be able to understand who we are and how we live and time passing in terms of our lives. So, you're born, you live, you die, and the calendars that we use assist us with understanding how that works. But that's apparently going to be changing. They haven't told me exactly how it's going to change, but for anyone who is really aware of energy, you will have noticed that time seems to be speeding up. And that is true. That is what's happening. We're becoming more and more in the present moment and less focused on the past. And in a sense, not even really connecting to the future yet, because for those of us who understand this kind of concept, it's that, we create our future in the present moment, meaning what we do right now is what happens in the future. And so that time construct of past, present, future is going to be a little changed for us. And they'll reveal that more and more as we move forward through this year. But January 1st, 2022 is going to be an auspicious date. It's going to be a date in history where we're going to remember that this is when our consciousness level began to really shift into fourth dimension. Now, what does that mean? Well, fourth dimension is the challenging transition between fear and love, between dark and light, between acceptance and judgment. And so the energy that we've lived with for a very long time as humans on planet Earth has been one of separation. It's not been one of unity. And so we're moving into something that's called unity consciousness. And unity consciousness is becoming a very popular term nowadays. And it means that it's that we're not all separate in the way that we think that we are. Of course, we all have separate bodies and separate brains, but in a sense, we're all energy. And although we all appear to be different, we're actually not. We're all the same, and we're all one, a collective of consciousnesses, but we're just one consciousness. So that might be a little confusing right now, but that's kind of where we're going into the fifth dimension. So it could be confusing. The separation issue is something that's very common because we don't see ourselves as being the same as other people. We see ourselves as being individualistic. And we all have our own ideas and lives that we live and experiences. But this is an old energy. It's the old way, the 3D way, where we had to be very grounded and we had to exist within ourselves to kind of grow into evolving into who we really are. So we're going to be shifting out of that, it's all about me, and into an energy that is more about I understand you, that perception. So here on planet Earth, we survive with perception of how we understand things to be. And before this, we've always thought it was just about us, but individually. Now we're going to see more energy around a synergy of who we all are. And so people will begin to have more compassion, more acceptance, and they'll begin to see other people as, I see you, I see you, I know you, I understand you because you're me and I'm you. And that may not seem like it's possible based on where we're at right now, but it certainly is where we're heading to. And that's why this is so challenging for us. So each one of us are units of consciousness. We all have this awareness of ourselves. And as I said, we have all existed separately, believing that we were individuals having an individual experience. But if you've noticed now with the way that our world is now, and especially with our global internet and our global environment that we live in, we're actually all together and we're all in this together. So now you can see that this unity consciousness is where we're all existing separately, but we're actually all one as well. And so as you begin to experience these challenges that we're going to be going through, I want you to really begin to see that you live from a perception of what life is about, and that each one of us are way more alike with each other than we really thought we were, you know, that we have a perception of ourselves as being separate and unique, which we are, but that we will also shift our perception of others. And so this kind of theme of unity consciousness, it's going to be the running theme for 2022. It doesn't mean that you won't exist anymore as an individual. Of course you will. You still exist within your physical body and you still have your own perceptions of yourself and others, but you're going to begin to recognize yourself in other people and vice versa. So you're going to really begin to have a perception that has you notice where you're the same. And that's going to also create an appreciation for each other. And you're going to appreciate more where you are alike rather than different, because we spent a long time with this separateness and this belief and perception that we're all different. But in actual fact, that is untrue. But that is going to become our new theme around who you are being in the world. And you're going to become more and more aware of that. Now, is it going to be easy? No, it's actually going to be quite challenging because we are our bodies, our energy fields, our auras, our cellular DNA, all of that is upgrading because our planet is upgrading. And so in order to survive here, we are going to be kind of moving with the flow of that higher frequency of energy. And so I want you to know that this shouldn't really be a shock to you, because certainly in my spiritual philosophy and the way this channeling came in, it's that, you know, we agreed to be here at this time. You as a soul chose to come into this incarnation on planet Earth during this challenging time. Now, you may be someone who calls himself a starseed or a light worker, and you knew you came here to assist with the evolution of the planet and of our species. Or you may just be some person who this is brand new to them and you've never heard any of this before and you don't understand any of it. And all of that is totally fine. But I want you to know that it's not an accident that you're here. even if you're going through some really challenging times, you chose to come and evolve during these challenging times. You chose to be here with, the idea that you would get this newfound awareness, this newfound connection to yourself, to your consciousness level. And so it's a really monumental time for us, because we're all evolving out of these individualized units of consciousness and up into this larger sphere that is this unity consciousness. So unity consciousness, I mentioned, it's not a new concept. But you want to really be able to have some patience with yourself as you kind of go through this, because there's going to be a lot of evolving and shifting and morphing and moving and learning about all these different new perceptions and information. So patience is really required. You're not going to get it all first time around. And if you do, great. But you're probably going to have lots of questions and maybe some confusion, as I mentioned before, and some misunderstandings. And how does this work? And why is this happening? And what does this mean? And those are all very normal, real questions that you can have. And, more information is going to be coming forward to assist us with this. So it's going to take a bit of time for the balancing out to happen. And also for people to recognize that this really is what's happening, and that it is new. It's a new concept for us and for everyone, actually. And that, even though you may still see yourself, of course, as an individual sitting in your car on the highway, going to your place of work, going to your house, there's going to be more possibilities, more change happening, where we're going to begin to see new things that are possible. And we're going to be able to see that we can live differently than how we've been living so far with all of this separateness. So it's a transitionary year, and a time where you're really going to be going through a metamorphosis of your own awareness of who you are. And not just who you are, but how you live, and what it's actually like to be a human being on planet Earth. This level of conscious awareness is going to rise. So you're going to start to notice new things, almost as if some blinkers have been taken off of you, or someone's turned the light on. You're going to notice and get new ideas about things. And they're going to be challenging situations, because it's going to be new ways of thinking about the world, about you, about other people. And it's not all going to be rainbows and unicorns. It is going to be growth experience. And so, we as a planet, Mother Earth is upgrading into this fourth and fifth dimension. And because we belong with her, we're made of her, we also are very deeply impacted by this experience. But just as you chose to be here, there's also the concept that it's already done. So all timelines exist all at the same time. So as time is a construct here on our planet, it's a construct made for us to understand our personal experience here. But actually, time doesn't exist. All time exists at the same time. So I would like to introduce you to the idea that it's all said and done already. It's all done. It already exists. We're already in the fifth dimension at a certain frequency and vibration, and we're on the way to get to that. It's like you're taking a journey and you're traveling across the country, and the town that you're going to, the city, it exists. It already exists. But you have to cross the journey. You have to cross the landmass. You have to cross the ocean. You have to go through the journey to get to where you're going, which already exists. It's not like you're going to New York City and it hasn't been made yet. And it's the same thing with the 5D planet Earth. It's already there. We're just getting there. So that's one way to think about this journey. So you want to enjoy the ride, enjoy the experience, even though it's going to be challenging all the way through 2022 as we go through this transition. You're moving through where you've been as this singular concept aspect of yourself and into a bit of an element of completion, actually, because your level of consciousness is becoming aware of itself. So it's going to be new. It's not going to be something you've experienced in this incarnation before. Potentially, you may have had it in another one, and then it will be a remembering for you. But it's going to be an adventure. It's going to be quite challenging and exciting. And so, hold back on any reservation that you have about what the experience is going to be like. Don't get ahead of yourself. It's almost like you're in that car traveling across the country to New York City, and you already think you know what it's going to be like on the ride, but you don't. So don't anticipate what's coming before you get there, because you don't know what the other drivers on the road are going to be doing. You don't know what the weather's going to be doing. And so it's the same kind of concept with this journey, that we don't know what it's going to be like. We have to go through the journey. We have to go through the shift, the change, the experience to be able to get there. So as I mentioned, we do want to have patience with ourselves and with others as we go through this shift, because we want to be assisting each other, recognizing and trusting that everything is all right and that it's all good at the end. It's just a growth experience for us as humans and for our planet. And this shift in conscious awareness of who you are and what's possible and how to live and how to grow and how to be together is to create this unity consciousness that I'm talking about. Because the essence of unity consciousness is to be able to assist one another and to be able to be together in an energy of love and acceptance for each other. And so we're up leveling, and we want to be able to help each other in this up leveling experience. So don't be afraid to talk about this. Don't be afraid to ask other people for help and collaborate with people and be creative in terms of how you are living your life now as you go through these new experiences, because you're going to find yourself feeling less and less separate and more of this kind of concentration of we energy, a togetherness, a unit, a collective. So it's a very exciting time this year on planet Earth, and you can enjoy the experience better if you can let go of some of the fear and the worry and the stress and any kind of concern about what's going to happen. Because think of it like you're on a roller coaster ride. And you know that when you're on a roller coaster ride, it's going to go up and down and it's going to go round and round. And at the end, you're going to go, whoa, that was amazing. That was a great ride. And then, how many times do you want to go on the ride again? So open your eyes, your hearts, and be willing to see things a little different. Now, this journey is not for everyone. Not everyone likes roller coasters. And so just as you may have chosen to be here, some also have chosen not to be here. And so some people will not be staying around for the year or for the journey. And that's their choice. That is their soul's expression. That's their journey. So they may say, yeah, no, I'm not up for that. And if they do, you can really begin to understand that that's their decision and it's been predetermined, because if everything exists all at the same time, they've already decided where they're going and what they're going to do. So you can't worry about that. Yes, it might not be comfortable, and you might be very surprised by who leaves and who stays on the earth. But energies are shifting, and we really need to understand that this is the nature of what is happening on our planet right now. And that as we move through this, more and more will be revealed to us, because love is going to become the dominant energy. And so we're in this transition, and we can know that we are fully supported and assisted and aided by many other energies. So I am in constant conversation with galactic energies and collectives and the councils, Federation of Light, and these kinds of energies that are here to support us, to support Earth as well, and to make sure that this upgrade goes smoothly and well. So hold on for the ride. You're going to look back and say it was all worth it. And the energy of love is going to be the guiding force in our vibration moving forward. And that is where we are heading. So this New Year's message is to give you hope, and also to give you a little bit of a foundation of awareness of what to expect. Some things are going to be very unexpected, and so you may have to pivot and shift and kind of go with the flow. You may have to let go of some things, and you may have to embrace some new things. So it's definitely a challenge. And if you can keep that idea of, you're traveling to a new place and you're going through the journey to get there, then that will really help you to see that, it's going to be a roller coaster. So I hope you've enjoyed this message. If you have, please like this video and share. Please subscribe to my channel so that you are able to see new messages as they come forward. And if you're interested in the work that I do, please subscribe to my website. The link is below. And as always, until I see you again, much love and thank you very much for watching.